You are now watching The Lone Blown. Blown! Yo, what's poppin' YouTube? You're back here at The Lone Blown. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Today we're going to be going over a little bit of a different video than what you normally expect here. Normally we do deck profile videos, things to help competitive players grow. In the same vein, this will help you grow as a player, or it might give you that next needed tip or trick. Today we're going to be going over how I am strategically going into the Players' Cup 3. So I was able to win the Players' Cup 2 over 16 rounds of play, 50 tournament entry tickets over a couple months. And it puts me at one of the only two Players' Cup winners. So there's myself and there's Jack Miller, the winner of the Players' Cup 1. With there just being the newly minted Players' Cup 3, this video is to really help you understand what's going on with the Players' Cup and give you some of my tips and tricks as a player who is able to make it out of that tournament as champion. So hopefully, this is able to get you to the very end, qualify, at least play in the event, and then we'll see exactly how this video goes. That being said, if you're looking for any cards for the Players' Cup 3, head over to PTCGO store, plug in code ZLasage to save 5% on your next order of codes. You can also check that out in the description below. And if you're looking for anything else, maybe you're looking for coaching for the event, one-on-one, anything like that, feel free to check it out down there. As we approach our goal of hitting over 500 subscribers, on our way to 1,000 plus, feel free to subscribe to this video and this channel for all of the great content that we put here. At least I hope it's great content. All right, let's jump into how the Players' Cup 3 actually works, because I'm sure some of you are curious about that. So, in order to get to the Players' Cup 3 page, I went over to the Play Pokemon Events tab here. The Players Pokemon Cup 3 is right there. And I just clicked on that link and we got to the TCG section. This kind of gives you what's going on about the entire event. But since I'm a TCG channel and I play the TCG, I'm just going to click on the TCG section. So going through here, the Pokemon Trading Card Game Players Cup 3 will take place via Pokemon Trading Card Game Online. So if you haven't already, make sure that you have PTCGO, the Pokemon Trading Card Game Online, downloaded, that you have it connected to your account. Not that you're playing on a friend's account, anything like that. This event is only for eligible Masters players, and you have to be in North America, South America, Europe, or Australia and New Zealand. All other ages and players are not eligible to play. I'm not the one who makes the rules. This is just me purely being informational. If you got any questions, feel free to let me know in the comments below. So basically, players will reach the top of the rating zone's leaderboards with tournament rep in the standard format in the month of February. The top players, after removing all the ineligible players, so sure, there's going to be some players that play on their friend's account. There's going to be players who do not properly register for the next phase. They'll advance, and the event is totally free. So I totally recommend, if you do not think you're highly of yourself as a player, play in this event. You get free stuff just for playing. You can see how far you make it, and it's really an experiment of growth. I feel like you have a way to rank yourself. You have a way to see exactly where you went right, where you went wrong, and then you could always prepare for upcoming events. Maybe there's going to be a Players' Cup 4. Maybe there's going to be another Pokemon event. We're not sure. The pandemic's a wild, wild place. So the Players' Cup 3 will use the new feature they rolled out in the Players' Cup 2. So all players who have their accounts properly registered will receive 50 tournament keys. So make sure that you have the correct name, that you've opted into all things on their PTCGO. And the event runs from January 26th, which is coming up fairly quick, about a month away, until February 26th. So Jan to Feb, that's 1 month. Each tournament will take, like, it's one tournament key to use. So you got to play in 50 tournaments, trying to do your best. No additional keys will be whatever. So when you're done, you're done. If you got them, use them. If you don't, you can't play. So every eligible player has the same amount of chances to qualifier in the Players' Cup 3 Open Qualifier. So tournament rep awards, I think this might be new actually. The tournament rep awards will be disabled for all of the things. So if you're playing in the other events, you have to play in the special key events. It will only show you what's going on with the key events, and that will allow you to properly figure out exactly how many you need. I think last time you needed around 90 tournament rep. So if you look at how it works down here, you got 5, 3, 1, and 0. To me, I think that this is one of those things where basically you want to do top 4 or higher. Since they're 3-round events, you have to win 1. But in most cases, you want to be winning 2 games per event. I think you need to go about 50-50 with it being... you need to go a little bit higher than what it is. I qualified last time with over 100. So really just focus on choosing decks that will allow you to get past the first rounds, decks that you are comfortable with, decks that are consistent. Meme decks typically do not do well. Decks that have a large range of poor matchups that are more fun to play don't typically do as well here. So make sure you're treating each individual event a little bit more seriously. Moving down here, so it shows the players that are qualifying. 256, 256, 256, 128. Seems like they're doing 128 because they're only encompassing 2 smaller countries. And in March, the players will play in a region qualifier. On the region, break down to a top 4. And then those top 4 from each region will advance on to the global finals. It is saying that you will need a Discord and Battlefly account to participate. I do recommend that you download Discord. I mean, most players who play Pokemon probably do have Discord. If you don't, it's really kind of like Skype mixed with Facebook, if that makes sense. At least that's how it works for me. So it's a great place for communications, kind of like the new age of forums for all the older people. For anyone who's a little bit younger, I'm sure you already have Discord. If you need any help with Discord, again, let me know in the comments below. Battlefly is really just the tournament software that they use for this event, since it is a double elimination event. And it tells you exactly what's going on. Double bracket play. Double bracket play continues on until 4, so 1 week later. Everything, you will get an email, and then in the global finals. And April 10th to 11th. And it tells you exactly. So the following players are not eligible. So you need to be born in 2000. So players who were born in 2005 or later are not eligible. Players who reside outside of countries supported by the following play Pokemon zones. Players who have not opted into play Pokemon terms of use. Players do not log into Pokemon TCG online between October 18th and January 18th. So you want to make sure that you opt into the play Pokemon terms of use after receiving a player ID. That's basically what we got here for the rules. And what are you playing for? The prizing? It's one of those things where the top 4 players get a paid trip to an international championships of their choice. Obviously, with borders shut down around the world, it's one of those things where you gotta wait a little bit for your prize, but once the borders reopen, travel resumes, you can walk away with a paid trip. For me, I do have one of those paid trips. It's actually super exciting. For me, I'm gonna probably use it to go to Australia. That's arguably one of the more difficult events for me to go to financially, and I'm just happy to have the opportunity. Beyond that, we got the Pokemon information, like everything's here. So I totally recommend. I'll put this link in the video. So make sure that if you're wondering where it is, what's going on, be sure to check that out. That's going to be in the description of the video. So let's go over some of my tips and tricks. So now that you have a basic idea on being like, yo, this is how I can connect my account, this is how I can do all that kind of stuff, I guess it's best to go over the tips and tricks of this event. So with it being 50 tournaments, it's kind of a bit of a gauntlet. The 50 tournaments means you have to play in 53 round tournaments, best of 1, and you could change your deck up every single event. What I recommend doing is not trying to gunshot all of those events immediately. It's one of those things where I think you'll be very upset with your results. Unless you're on an absolute winning tear, I do not recommend playing more than a few events per day. You have a full month, and it's kind of like slow and steady wins the race. So if you go out there and you're like, I'm playing 20 events on this one day, first and foremost, that sounds exhausting, that sounds boring, that sounds like you're going to make some poor decisions out of 20 events. Each event, I think, takes approximately a full 40 minutes to 45 minutes from beginning to end, and that's depending on the decks. I mean, in this current format, the format's pretty quick, but let's just say like 45 minutes to an hour for each event. So this is 50 hours of Pokemon. If you played 20, that's 20 hours of Pokemon. Even if you got lucky and played, that's like 10 hours of Pokemon. Look, I understand some of you are on holidays. I understand some of you are students and you're off school and you have nothing better to do. If you feel comfortable with it, go right ahead. I just think it's better to take it and be like, I'm going to be playing three tournaments a day. That gives you more than enough time to play, because that will give you you'll be over in 10 days. You can play in 2 tournaments a day and get it over with. It's one of those things where I think if you focus on playing in 2 tournaments per day, you will be hyper focused for those events. You will not be like, oh, there's always another one. Because a lot of players who thought there was always another one did not qualify for the top 256. And there was a lot of great players, I'm not going to name any names, that did not qualify for the last stage. And I'm sure they probably fell into a few rookie mistakes when it comes to just playing. They're like, oh yeah, I'm going to play it. Maybe I'll play it in front of stream. Trade as an entertainment value. I mean, sure, there's entertainment value in playing in the Players' Cup. Sure, there's entertainment, but at the end of the day, it's a competition. And if you're trying to advance or try to do your best, you definitely want to practice best possible tips. So again, I would recommend playing in a couple events per day. As soon as you're not having fun with it, stop for the day. I get so frustrated after tournaments sometimes. For example, like Mondays on Hegsters, I've never been able to break out of a top 32. Call it complete luck, poor deck choice. Monday is a day that I might not treat seriously enough. It's one of those things where like after that, I'm just like, I'm not playing next week. And then the week goes by and I'm like, okay, I want to play Pokemon. I mean, with this video getting posted today, the tournament's going on tonight. Will I play in the tournament? Today I'm actually super busy, so probably no. But it's one of those things where if I wasn't so busy, I'd definitely be playing in the events. Even though that it's never given me any kind of success, any kind of gratification that I'm looking for. And I'm a fairly well-accomplished player as well, right? So it's one of those things where it can get incredibly frustrating. Our standard format is not necessarily where you want it to be right now, but that's okay. Just don't get frustrated and continuously play Pokemon. That's typically a poor combination where you're going to make poor decisions, make excuses. It just sucks. Make sure that you track down every single event that you play in. Look for trends when you're playing. So one thing that I did for the Players' Cup too, I wrote down every single rep that I earned, every single deck that I played to get that rep. And it's one of those things where I feel like that helped me. I was able to highlight every single time I won games. And usually the days that I played more tournaments, I had a worse kind of conversion into earning tournament rep than tournaments that I played in one of days where I could just give it my full attention for an hour instead of just trying to grind through. I did better at the beginning of the format than at the end of the format. That's because I ran into a race of trying to just get reps, just complete tournaments. Again, I started a little bit late and there was a point where I was worried about qualifying. So it's one of those things, make sure that you're actually completing it. It allows you to stay on track. I try to write the date that I play them on. I try to write the deck that I play them on. You can see the decks that you're doing well with more than others. So, I mean, the more data that you have, the better guesses you could make. So at the beginning of the Players' Cup 2, I was playing a lot of ADP. ADP did okay for me. I did win a couple events, but it was not converting as high as Luke Metal, for example. And it was not converting as high as Pikarom. With those two decks, I was able to kind of change my plan up a little bit and see exactly what was going on. So, that being said, I think finding a deck that you're comfortable with, for one, finding a deck that does well for you for 2. I mean, you got to play a few. I think having a bit of a shotgun approach, maybe playing 5 games with a deck, 5 games with another deck, unless you're doing absolute terrible, sounds like an absolute valid idea. And just really making sure that you're completing the event, like the event tickets. If you don't use your keys, you're probably not going to qualify. You probably need close to 100 this time around. And if you can't get to the 100 mark, you definitely have to put yourself on track for that. So just track what your appropriate ranges, what you're up, behind, see exactly what you need to do in order to get to that certain threshold. If you can't get into that certain threshold, it's okay. That's fine. There's always another event that can come up. But I mean, just pushing yourself closer there as you go on the journey is definitely going to help you see success. And beyond that, just really take each event, one event at a time. There's nothing that you could do about the last events other than try to take your mistakes and move forward, or take your best practices and move forward. If you're just going to like lament over a loss or an event and that's going to ruin your whole run, be sure to check yourself. I've definitely done that where I'm just like, oh, you want to know what? I love playing El Creamy VMAX. It's one of my favorite decks. I play it for a thing, I do bad, and then I play it for another one and I try to get a result. That's mentality that's closer to insanity, right? So just make sure that you're taking it one game, one event at a time, playing in low amounts, making sure that you're tracking everything, making sure that you're playing the correct decks. Follow meta trends. I mean, if you're wondering what's going on with the meta, feel free to watch this channel. I try to be straight up honest about everything that I possibly can, try to cover any new decks that are approaching coming out of the game. And I'm probably going to be doing meta update videos once the Players Cup 3 is around. So stay tuned for stuff like that. If there's anything that like I didn't cover in this video that you think is going to help you out, be sure to ask me in the comments below. I'm not going to necessarily talk about the whole you advanced in your region kind of thing, and because that's so far away in March. And we're literally just December right now. So closer to that, I'll explain how the playoffs work. Hopefully I'll be able to make it. All players who make the top X in their region walks away with digital deck box and sleeves and some PTCGO packs. So I mean, even if you don't think that you're going to get a travel award, or if you're like, look, I'm just here to qualify, I don't even know if I want to play in a tournament that long, those are fairly valuable in-game resources. I think it's valued about 100 packs of the most recent set at any given time for the set. So it's just one of those things where I don't necessarily think there's any reason not to play, right? Unless you're not eligible or anything like that. But as long as you're eligible, make sure that you play. It sounds like an absolute fun event. I totally enjoyed it, whether or not I won the event or not. I think Pokemon puts on a great show, great production value, everything like that. So it's all about it. And again, any questions, ask me in the comments below. Totally love to answer anything that you got going on there. Beyond that, I mean, I think that kind of summarizes everything today. So appreciate it. Thanks to you so much for watching this video. And we'll catch up with you next time. I know this week, with it being Monday, I guess I can give you a bit of a rundown. So we got the video coming out today, got the Chill, Yellhorn, Lone Blown kind of collab. The Yellhorn podcast is dropping tomorrow, so check that out. And then I'm probably going to be covering some decks for the GG Tour tournaments this upcoming weekend. So if you're looking for my absolute top plays, my current top lists, I mean, I don't know exactly what I'm going to play. I'm a bit of a wild card right now, but I'll post where my thoughts are probably as of Wednesday or Thursday. And with it being Christmas this week and the holidays in general, might be a little bit light on the uploads, but we'll rebound as soon as the holidays are over. I just want to take some time for myself and give myself that much needed relaxation. I know we're in a time where you can't necessarily spend it with too many, if any, family and friends, but just stay safe out there, everyone. I want to see y'all back when in real life play returns, and I just want everyone to be safe. So I really, again, happy holidays to everyone. If this is the last video you watch of before everything happens. Beyond that, we'll catch up with you tomorrow with the podcast. All right, have yourself a great one and take it easy. Really hope that you enjoyed watching that video. I totally enjoyed making it. If you enjoyed it, be sure to like the video, share the video with everyone that you know, and subscribe to the channel as well. Totally appreciate all the support. We got a lot of cool things happening on the channel, so stay tuned for more. Be sure to check out the social links in the description. Thanks and have yourself a great one.